Work-life balance is not real. Work-life balance is not real. In this video, I'm going to discuss with you 3 ways that you can achieve work-life harmony. Hey there, my name is Lesline and I am your favorite nurse yogi. If this is your first time clicking on my pretty face, thank you. Make sure you subscribe. I'm pointing down below because that is where the subscribe button lives. Double, triple check that you are subscribed. So today I want to talk about work-life balance and what that really means and how that looks, because I have been, let me actually introduce myself. So who the heck am I and why am I qualified to be sharing with you about work-life balance? Well, I am a registered nurse with 12 years of healthcare experience, and I have been working a job since I was like 16. I'm in my 30s now. I'm working a job half of my life, and couple that now with being a mom, being a wife, also having my own business, Lesline Does Wellness, where I show new moms how to put themselves first through yoga. I know a thing or two about work-life balance. Also, your girl is a Libra, and Libra's sign is a balance, a scale, okay? But the word balance used to trigger me, and I realized it triggered me because I didn't have the actual definition. And before I came on this video, I was like, you know what? Let me actually look up what the word balance means, because why did it bother me so much? So before I give you the proper definition from the good old Merriam-Webster.com, I want to tell you what I thought balance was. So I thought balance was, and I'm also a certified yoga instructor with 5 years of teaching experience. So I have that holistic side and the clinical side. So you see, I'm constantly balancing between those two, or going between those two worlds. And I realized, which is why I created my own business, that I can blend the two worlds to really help improve maternal health outcomes is the goal. So I used to think that balance was the scale that, you have a scale and then it's like this, and you got to take some off of one and maybe put a little bit of something on the other so that it stays equal, right? And when I think about that as all of the things that I do, I'm like, well, something has to give on one of those sides and balance isn't going to happen. But then I looked up the actual definition on Merriam-Webster just before I clicked play on this, record on this video. And I saw that this definition of balance, I was like, I can jive with this one. So balance, according to Merriam-Webster, is to bring into harmony or proportion. So I'm going to say that again. The word balance means to bring into harmony or proportion. So that, I love the word harmony, because when I think of harmony, I think of just like music, and I think of just it all sounding like there's multiple instruments playing, but they're all tuned, if you will. And that makes me feel better. And I'm like, okay, if everything is going and doing its thing, that just sits better for me, right? So I recently have been posting short form content. If you're not following me over on short form platforms like Instagram, make sure you go. If you are over there, it's the same at Lesline Pittman. Make sure you follow me. And over there lately, when I go on my daily walks, I'm just sharing my thoughts on my corporate job. Not disclosing where I work, but just like how I'm navigating, carving out the time for myself during the workday. And lately I've just, I'd be saying it's the people's job, right? And the reason I say it's the people's job is to help me like compartmentalize, especially because I work from home as a nurse. It can be very mundane, right? And it can all just blend or come into one, if you will. And there's no telling of like, you just roll out of bed and you clock in, and there's no definitiveness of like work versus home, because it's all happening in the same place. And so I have to say that it's the people's job. So then I know like that's their thing. And I've wrapped this time in working the people's job to make a means. How does the saying go? Like to pay bills, right? And I also say that it's the people's job, which this just follow with me to help with work-life balance. Because if I connect my value and who I am, Lesline Pittman, the essence in my being, to the people's job, I point because that's where my computer is. I will take things personally from the people's job. I will get offended when my supervisor tells me that I did something wrong. I have to keep in mind that my supervisor is just looking at numbers and they are hearing stuff from people above them, right? And she's not there to attack me. She is just there because the job needs to get done, right? And so these are things that I struggled with. And so I'm just verbalizing like how I've gotten to the place today where I'm learning not to take things personally at the people's job. And one of the ways that I was able to do that, if I'm really real with you all, it sounds wild what I'm about to say, but creating my own business helped me have something, because my business is purpose driven. It's purpose driven, and it was created out of my own pain. So my own pain created this purpose driven business. And any time that the people's job feels a little shaky, right? You know how it goes. Especially where I'm working now, it's just like it's a lot of uncertainty. I don't feel as anxious anymore. Like I don't feel as anxious anymore because I know that I have my business. I know that I have built and am building a community of people where we are going to support each other, right? So that keeps me grounded so that whatever the heck is going on over there, I know that I have Lesline Does Wellness, right? So I was saying in a video that I posted today, and you should be seeing it, that so this is how I know. This is something too. It could be because I am a Libra. Like I just always need peace. I always need harmony. So I know sometimes to a fault, I know how to just remove something and like lock into myself. I know how to do that. And I was actually talking about in a video how I'm able to prioritize my wellness every single day is because I have self-love. I have a deep admiration, a deep respect for myself. And don't get it twisted. Self-love and having more so compassion, self-compassion, having compassion for yourself doesn't mean that you're lax with yourself. If anything, you're very, I don't want to say stern, but I'm very disciplined with myself. I'm very structured with myself. I am hard on myself. And so sometimes I gotta pull it back a little and give myself grace, because your girl works hard. And I don't say that, well, I don't even need to explain that, but I work hard, and it's because I know what I am capable of. I've already done so much for my life. I followed through in multiple things, hence this current thing I'm doing. And if you're like, what thing? I'm doing 100 days straight of YouTube. I have not missed any days for the past 75 or 76 days in a row. Your girl has been posting 20 to 30-minute videos with the exception of one day. And you're going to think that at that day I missed. I did not miss. It was just a 3-minute cute vloggy, mini vloggy vlog thing. But that's how committed I am to things. And so when it comes to work-life balance, we're going back to that. The first tip, right? Because we got to give you a tip. I'm going to try to give 3, and I don't even have a script. We're going to speak off the cuff. The first tip to achieving work-life balance, especially if you are a mom, more specifically if you are a new mom, it is attainable. You can do work-life balance. And I used to say work-life integration because when I think of balance, going back to what I said with the scale, it can feel like you're constantly like going like this, right? You're like, I gotta take something off here. Oh, I gotta take something off here. Oh, I gotta work less at the job. I gotta find a part-time job so that I can take care of the kids. Okay, now the kids are grown up. Let me get a full-time, so it's constantly like that, right? So the first way to help, so that's why I say integration, because integration means, let's look up integration. Let's look it up, right? So we talked about balance, and that balance is harmony, but what is integration? And I'm going to give you 2 more tips, and I say that so that integration is well, we already let's see. I'm going to integrate. It's not giving me like what Combining. So integration, as in absorption, is the stage or act of combining or being combined into a cohesive whole. So yeah, bringing things together, right? So that's how I think, like, think about this. Before you became a mom, right? You worked the people's job. Maybe you are partnered, maybe you are not partnered, right? And so say, because I'm partnered, I am married to my husband, it was just me and him, right? And then when I became a new mom, that's outside of me, if you will. That was not a part of my identity, right? I had to learn how to integrate my being a new mom into my life. I'm not going to stop the life that I had. No. And that's where a lot of us mess up. We stop the life that we had to tend to this kid 24/7. Spoiler alert, that is very detrimental to your child's growth. The only way that your kid is going to listen to anything you say is if you take care of yourself. And that's another video, but that's the only way. You can talk blue till you're blue in the face that you gotta eat your fruits and vegetables. Why aren't you working out? Why aren't you reading? The kids ain't reading, guys. The kids ain't reading. They're not reading, right? And so you have to do these things yourself because your kids, they look at what you're doing. They don't listen. They barely listen. They listen when you don't think they're listening. And that's so annoying to me. But anyways, so we talked about, what did we say for the first tip? I forget, but the second tip is wow, we're just going to trudge along in this video because I forgot what I said the first tip was, but you have to also know, like, okay, the second thing that I've realized about myself is I diversify my identities. This comes from a book that I'm currently reading called The Good Enough Job. And he talks about, and this is where what I was saying at the beginning, it comes from that book because he was saying, and I was guilty of this, is like the reason I would take things to offense at the people's job is because I tied my value, like who God made me, to the job. And you can't do that. Your job, like you working the people's job, is just one aspect of your grand, beautiful, audacious life, right? And so tip 2, gosh, what was tip 1, y'all? But tip 2 is to diversify your identities, right? Diversify your identities. So your job is one aspect. Being a mother is another aspect. Being a wife, partner, whatever is another aspect. Being a friend is one aspect. Being a daughter, do you see where I'm going? Being a cousin. You have all of these aspects that you need to tend to feel whole, to feel grounded as a human. If you're not tending to all of those areas in your life, you will feel disconnected. Things such as anxiety can be an issue for you. And having feelings of anxiety is normal, but when anxiety becomes crippling, where you cannot do your activities of daily living, such as getting out of bed, clocking into the people's job, bathing yourself, feeding yourself, that is when we have to figure out what is going on, right? And yes, it can be a chemical imbalance, but it also could be things as simple as, am I so strung out on the people's job? Like, all I'm doing is thinking about the people's job. Like, if I'm gonna give you a little bit of tea about my job right now, like it's a startup type of thing. And it's like, they're like, we don't care if you do overtime, like just get the job done, right? And so if I did not know how to practice work-life balance, I probably would have quit by now. If I'm gonna be really honest with you, yesterday I did I don't need to explain, but they're like, you did so much. Wow, you know? And I'm like, yeah, because the work has to get done, right? But I'm not going to get so down and out if I don't do every single thing that they say I'm only human, right? At the same time, though, you don't just F off. Let me be clear. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to be clear too, is I'm not telling you to quit your corporate job because I have not quit my corporate job at time of recording, right? So and I know that's why my corporate job type of content does well, because people want to know, how do you do it all? And it's not that I do it all. I just know when to take breaks. And I know how to speak up for myself. So that's another tip. I don't know if this is going to be 3 tips. I don't know how many tips it's going to be. So this is not going to be good for SEO purposes, but you have to know, like, you are an adult. You are an adult, right? And that's why I created my 12-week preventative health care program, because yes, you are an adult, but a lot of adults don't have routines. We are so, especially if you're a new mom, hell, if you're just a mom, you have created a perfect routine. I know that kid's routine is so good. But what about your routine, right? You have to have a morning routine, and you have to have a night routine. The same way that when you first have a baby, they have their day routine, right? You give them a bath, or maybe you do the bath, whatever. But like, you feed them, and you change, you do certain things. They do tummy time. Like, you have it like regimented, because that is how children thrive, is in routine. But for whatever reason, you ain't got nan routine, right? So in my 12-week preventative healthcare program, I actually give you my morning and night routine, and then I help you curate your morning and night routine, because it's not a one size fits all approach. But I know what it's like before I had routine, to just be like, I need to see what you're doing, and then I can understand, like, oh, like, for example, I drink a cup of mint tea every night before bed for 2 reasons. The warmth of the tea relaxes me and tells my body, like, okay, it's time to wind down. And then also, my old primary care doctor said that drinking mint tea helps with, like, reducing like hyperpigmentation and acne and those kind of things. So that's like one aspect of my nighttime routine. I also read. I try my best if I'm not like tired. But if I'm not tired and I'm like, it's like late, I'm like, let me read my book, right? I always have a book. Hot girls always have a book by their bed. I have two books at my bedside right now. Always have a book. Always have a book at your bedside, right? So this also goes with the diversifying your identities, right? And the importance of having some kind of community online, but really, guys, offline. That book is also talking about that too, how a lot of people now, we have these online communities, but there's a really big disconnect. Like, people are still not feeling like they belong. I know right now diversity, equity, inclusion is no more. But there's the B like boy in diversity, equity, inclusion, DEIB. And no matter who you are, white, black, whoever you are, we all want to belong. We all want to belong, right? And one way to feel like you belong is to join a community in person primarily. And this is me, somebody that creates content and has created a wellness like business online. I'm telling you all, find a community in person, and you will feel it's like you went to get like a vitamin B12 energy shot. Like, you'll be like, I don't know what this feeling is, but I want more of it. You feel connected, right? And I have my own communities here locally where I make sure I go to my monthly women's meetings and get that dose of belonging, of community. There is like science that proves. So if that be you go to a church or wherever it is, you need somewhere that you go with other like-minded people that are doing good. I have to add that, because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I feel like, people like, oh, you need like-minded people, like-minded people. I need you to be with like-minded people that are doing good, that are creating impact, that is changing the world for the better. I got to put that disclaimer lately, because I've been seeing some things on the internet that is very concerning. So going back to how to find work-life balance as a mom, right? The essence of this conversation, and I'm going to leave you with this, is really just going back to that diversifying your identities. Knowing that balance isn't a bad word. When I tell you a few months ago, I actually just made a post like balance is a lie. Actually, last week I was like, balance is a lie, because I didn't look up the word. I'm growing, and that's a part of this too, right? But knowing now that balance is harmony. It's harmony for oneself. So I will close with this. If you are struggling with figuring out, because in order to achieve work-life balance, you have to, I don't want to, okay, you have to have routines. But before you have routines, and I talk about this in my 12-week health program, I show you how to make routines. It's deeper than that, but I'm going to leave it at that. So if you are like, girl, I need help with my routines, I feel like I'm just treading water every single day of life, I got you. So you're going to click that link down below. It says health coaching or work with me, wellness programs, thebreathbetween.co. You're going to click that link and I'm going to help you. That is why I'm showing up every single day on this YouTube, so I can be a resource for you, right? So anyways, I'm going to go. Same time, same place tomorrow. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.